right here.
I'm not gonna be told what to do.
I'm rolling. All right, Margaret.
Nice.
Boom.
Nice. All right. I'll take the left. You take the right.
Okay. Jess, you be in the middle.
It works out best if I'm on the left, if Finn's on the right. Kind of aligns politically too. Just kidding.
There's probably some left brain, right brain equation going on that we're unaware of, but yeah, it just kind of works.
It is a windy day.
Yes, it is. And look,
nice. So
here,
beautiful.
It just took us, like, let's get a good shot at this pool here, because it took us a good, I don't know, 5 minutes or so to get
exit
out from that pool.
I mean, once you get in a pool like that, you don't want to get out.
Well, it's a nice day. It's not nice enough for me to get in a pool yet. I think my pool days are still at least a month out.
It probably depends on the temperature of the pool.
Well, you New Yorkers, I feel like for you, you're like, this is summer. For like, I'm still cold right now. Like I took my hoodie off and I'm like maybe regretting it still.
This isn't summer. This is South by Southwest. And this is the hike and bike trail. This is Ben Steinbauer.
Hello.
This is Keith Maitland. And this is our special guest, who we haven't introduced you to yet. So, our guest today has maybe the busiest slate of shit going on of anybody we've talked to lately.
Way busier than we are. It's true. I feel slightly guilty that we are asking for an hour of her time.
That's right.
And
I also feel like slightly underwhelming with producers and creatives. Like, what have we been up to?
Wait. Oh, you mean, okay. I was going to say, wait a second. Don't disparage our walk. It's just started. Like, I think this is actually pretty fantastic.
Well, yes, I can't take much responsibility for how fantastic this beautiful day is or this trail.
Okay.
I can't take responsibility for how few titles I've released into the world when I'm sitting next to somebody who's here at a festival with, 3 films at the festival, 2 films that premiered at 2 films at the festival, 2 films that premiered at Sundance, a film in theaters this month, next month.
Yeah.
And let's not forget about True False, which was last week.
Yeah.
How could you forget?
It's been a lot.
So, what are we talking about? Who are we talking to? That's the question on your mind, maybe. Or maybe, like I always point out, you just read the name of the episode and you know that we are talking to Jess Harrop.
From Sandbox Films, yes. And there's the intro music.
On your left.
You're listening to Doc Walks with Ben and Keith.
Ding, 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 ding.
Does Sandbox have its own entrance music? Like, do you have a theme in mind for yourself?
Ooh, is it maybe like the sound of children playing in a sandbox?
Maybe.
That could be good.
Yeah, it would probably be scored by Dan Deacon since he's scored about 5 of our titles.
I did watch ANDRÉ Is an Idiot recently, which I'm trying not to fanboy out about as a maker and lover of comedy docs.
Yeah.
I adored it. But I saw that he made the music and I was extra excited about that. So tell me about the association with Dan Deacon.
I think he's got an aesthetic that works with so many of our films. I mean, so many different films. He did Time and Water, which is here, Sara Dosa's new film.
Ooh, and Sara Dosa is the director of Fire of Love.
Exactly.
Yes, I love that movie.
That film is so different from ANDRÉ Is an Idiot. And then he's working on a film that we're doing with Jess Kingdon. He did All Light Everywhere, the film we did with Theo Anthony. We're doing another film that he's working on.
Jeez, so he's basically an employee of Sandbox Films. And you know, one of my favorite pieces of media Dan Deacon is supposedly involved with.
Yeah?
Do you know the viral video Drinking Out of Cups?
Drinking out of a cup.
Have you ever seen this?
I know.
Oh, please. I'm going to send you the link after this. So, this is a much passed around, like kind of in the vein of Winnebago Man style viral video, where the story, as I understand it, is this group of friends recorded a friend of theirs high, free associating while watching TV.
Yeah.
And then somebody took that audio and animated a lizard voicing the voice of this free association. And it is laugh out loud, hilarious. And apparently it was Dan Deacon who was behind that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
So drinking out of cups. I will send you a link.
I recently purchased Dan Deacon's America on vinyl and gifted it to my editor, Austin Reedy, because he is always sneaking Dan Deacon's music in when we are temping visual scenes, and I always make him pull it out because I don't want to fall in love with something that I can't use.
Yeah.
But maybe one of these days I can use it. Well, so here we are. We're with, now,
Who?
we're as Jessica. I know you as Jess because Megan Gilbride, my frequent flyer reader and close friend, always refers to you as Jess. Do you go by Jess, Jessica, or something else I deal?
I go by Jess mostly,
Okay.
but I'll also answer to Jessica.
I didn't know if I was like being like one of those cool guys who like
No,
like calls Robert De Niro
Bob.
Everyone calls me Jess.
which I definitely do.
Yeah.
Good chance. Jess.
Yeah.
Jess it is.
Yeah.
So Sandbox Films
Yeah.
started, we were just talking about, it launched in 2020. It started developing the plan in 2019
Yeah.
and kind of developed as an offshoot of the Siemens Foundation.
Simon's
Foundation.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I first became aware of you guys because of the film that Megan and Drew Xanthopoulos were doing,
Yeah,
Fathom,
Fathom.
and Fire of Love. Sara Dosa.
Yeah.
I feel like both of those films kind of came out right around the same time. And you made like a big splash saying, we are going to make beautiful, artful explorations of science exciting.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's such an I love that that's the focus, like
Yeah.
science focused film. So can you talk about the genesis of that? Like why those type of films?
Why science?
Yeah.
Partly because we were born out of the Simons Foundation grant program, and the Simons Foundation focuses on supporting science research. So it makes sense that the outreach film company that they would support would be a science film company. But personally, I studied science my whole life.
Yeah, I read that. Were you a biology major? Okay.
Yeah, and then went into science television and wanted to sort of be a science communicator.
Interesting.
And yeah, so I worked in science television for over a decade before.
What does that mean,
Starting-
science television?
So I worked as an associate producer on Nova episodes. I worked for Discovery Channel shows, a big climate change series on Showtime.
Bill Nye the Science Guy, I
Yeah.
read. I was very excited to see that one.
Exactly, I worked for Bill on his Netflix show, Bill Nye Saves the World.
And what were you doing on that show?
On that show, I was the senior producer.
Okay.
That was my title, and I was basically running all the field units that were getting the short, sort of pre-taped segments for his talk show.
Gotcha.
So how did you jump from a degree in biology and a lifelong pursuit of science to capturing the skills to be a producer and somebody who kind of puts together all the different parts that make a film?
I learned everything I know about film on the job, basically. Yeah, I never took a film class.
Wow,
I
is
never
that
studied
right?
film.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was all about science, and then I did theater. So I've always
right.
loved the arts, but I never studied film. And then my first job out of college, my thesis advisor in biology was starting a company to communicate climate change. And he suggested that I become a science communicator because of my acting and my theater.
Interesting. And this would have
Yeah.
been like rough. I mean, I guess Inconvenient Truth would have been a few years before, probably,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, but you saw, I'm sure from that example, like how powerful film could
Exactly.
be
Yeah.
to affect change.
Exactly. It was sort of climate communication was a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Starting to be a thing. And I then was just networking like crazy and met this director who was doing Nova episodes and convinced him to hire me as his associate producer, and basically told him, hire me because I know the science.
Right.
I'm not afraid to talk to scientists. I'm not afraid to do the science research and read the papers and all of that. And so he was like, okay, I'll teach you how to make films.
And what was the first thing that you learned there that kind of stuck with you that you still utilize?
I think it's about doing a million things at once
Yes.
and like quadruple checking everything you do.
Oh, that's
It's
interesting.
not just the juggle, but it's actually juggling with proficiency.
With precision.
Yeah.
You know, and I was sitting here thinking, I know a fair amount of filmmakers who studied science
Yeah.
in college, and
Yeah.
that there's something similar about it. But
Yeah.
I was wondering what that similarity was, and maybe you just nailed it. Maybe it's like about the
Yeah.
the double checking or something about like, what am I trying to say? Like testing the hypothesis
Well,
over and
that's what I was
over.
saying, the scientific method is
Yeah.
very similar to a grant, like a standard grant application, right? Like your hypothesis, your thesis, your tests are your production shoots and your edits.
Yeah.
But you have to be totally open-minded to the idea that your hypothesis may be completely wrong,
Right.
and that what you discover may take you in a completely different direction.
That's a
Yeah.
great point, and that is
Yeah.
basically what making a documentary is. I think we're gonna tell this story, but then it becomes something else.
Yeah. 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 And we run these retreats every year where we bring scientists and filmmakers together. And at the beginning, all the scientists say they're scientists and all the filmmakers say they're filmmakers, and they're introducing themselves to each other as, I'm a scientist, I'm a filmmaker. And then by the end, everyone's like, we're all the same. Like, we're all just trying to answer questions and
We're
everything changes.
curious
and
people,
we
yeah.
never find answers because everything is messy and
Wow, that's
And-
so cool.
everyone.
The government's trying to squash our ability to do our job and steal our money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone's the same. Yeah.
Wow.
Where do you do these retreats?
They're
And
called,
how do we get invited?
they're called Camp Sandbox. We did them at Woods Hole. We did them out in a couple hours north of San Francisco. We're now doing them in upstate New York. And yeah, it's sort of a nomination process. It's kind of, we just want a really diverse group of people. So studying all kinds of things, making different things, different part levels, like early career, mid-career,
Yeah.
legends.
Gotcha.
Can I just point out too that I know you live in New York, and we are walking like New Yorkers. We are.
Oh, are we?
We're going fast. Yeah. I don't think it's too fast. I just want to say we are going fast.
Yeah.
And we also have not really described how beautiful it is today
Yeah, it is.
and where we are. So as a New Yorker, you're probably like, and didn't you guys just have a huge snowstorm and it's probably freezing?
Well, New York.
And what does it feel like to be here right now?
Yeah, we did. Well, we had a huge snowstorm, but then right before I came here, we had our first 80-degree day.
Like Monday was like a summer
nice.
day.
Wow.
But
then
now
Friday
it's
was-
snowing again. I
Yeah,
think.
it was
So
34, I think, this morning.
it's a whole year of seasons and weather in 1 week.
You're right. Right. But are you
So it's really
one of
nice
those
to be
like?
here.
I mean, you've come here a bunch, I would assume, just based on the
Yeah.
slate of movies we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Are you one of those that come here and you go, "Oh my God, I want to move to Austin and drink margaritas on a porch for the rest of my life," or are you like, "Oh, this is nice while we're here and can't wait to get back to New York"?
I love New York, but I think I also love it because I get to travel and not be there all the time. And I think,
Ben gets a little kickback from the city of Austin if people said they want to move here. So
oh, really? Yeah.
No, I just have had
no.
countless friends come for South by, and it's funny because
And
this is
stay?
like, yes, and this is like the baited hook moment of the year where it's like, it's kind of cold in the morning, but it's like perfect in the afternoon and evening, and everybody comes and you see great bands and amazing movies, and you're like, this is what living in Austin is like.
Is it? Is it like South by every day?
every day. It's just an endless land of badges and tacos, street closures. Actually, a lot of that is true.
I was gonna say, so far, yes, that's not far off.
Yeah.
So describing where we are, this is the hike and bike trail. There was a guy on my left.
On your left.
It is a gorgeous blue sky day, and that cloud in the sky.
It really is. Look at
The
that.
sound you may hear in the background, the sound of Austin springtime, and those birds in particular are our friends the grackles.
See, this is where Keith tries to make it about birds.
I love those birds. They are mean-spirited. They are territorial.
What you
They're
like?
bold.
You like a grackle?
I love grackles.
You're the only person I know who likes a grackle.
Lots of people love a grackle.
They sound just like tape hiss in the trees,
Yeah.
and they will literally come down at a restaurant and try to steal food off your table. They're the worst.
They're just doing their thing, and I appreciate and love them for them. Speaking of doing their thing, let's look at this guy for a second.
Oh, wow.
See, living in Austin.
This is how it's been on the tractor racing Becky all week. Somebody said they seen him headed down to the creek. Farmer Johnson's daughter differed up in a Jeep. Lordy knows how to grow 'em if you know what I mean. Old Dave's getting alive, but he don't mean no harm. We're just country boys and girls kept down on the farm.
That's our Blake Country. You can get Bohu at this if you want.
But there's some things you can do inside the old city limits. Ain't no
Kind of nice art installation here.
Yeah, look at this. It's like a Cousteau inspired kind of.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jess, we're talking about you being a showrunner, making science films.
Yeah.
Tell me about the transition from being a producer and a showrunner
Yeah.
to then starting a production company that identifies, finances, and creates the slate of films.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of funny because you never know what life will throw your way. And I had been show running this series for Netflix, and this was back in 2018, and we didn't get renewed for another season, and I'd been in a long-term relationship that ended. And earlier, the Simons Foundation had reached out saying they were looking to someone to help them figure out how to fund science films. And I had sort of
been in business with them before? Had you done?
I had produced some short films that they had supported a couple years before. But they had reached out and I had sort of said, I don't think so. Like, I'm a filmmaker. I don't really want to work for a foundation. And I'm like show running this series. And then when all of that other stuff crashed and we didn't have another season, I reached back out and they hadn't hired anyone yet for the role. And in my head,
You were like on second thought.
yeah, in my head I was thinking, you know, I'm gonna take this really nice stable job for a little bit, has health insurance, and not be a freelancer and just get myself into something. And then I got there and there was such an appetite there for creativity, entrepreneurship, taking risks. And we sort of pitched to them, well, what if we weren't just giving small grants to projects? What if we were actually more of a studio and we were investing in films, and what if we were a subsidiary of the Simons Foundation, owned by them, you know, working for them still, but an editorially independent entity.
This is so smart. And if I
dream.
and if I can just wax your car for a second, I love that you guys identify that humor is often the way to sell
Yeah.
or to educate
Yeah.
somebody on a kind of sometimes hard to hear message, like
Yeah.
André is an Idiot, for example, which is a
Yeah.
film that every one of our viewers should watch as soon as they possibly can,
Yeah.
is at its core a very serious movie
Oh.
about a
Sure is.
main character. Well, here I cut you off. Tell me what you were going to
No,
say.
I'm always like hearing how people describe.
Ben's been working as publicist here over time. Everyone should get a chance to see this movie, and everyone's about to get a chance to see this movie as it hits theaters.
It hits theaters.
Theaters
What?
now? Yeah.
Oh, it's in theaters now.
It
Awesome.
opened in New
Okay.
York last weekend. It's opening San Francisco and Chicago this weekend, and then it's ramping up. I think it's going to be in
coming here
65
next
cities.
month, which is why I would keep thinking it's next month.
And I
gonna be-
cannot stress enough how much people should go see this movie immediately, because André is so lovable and so funny and so like crackling with this like electricity, and you fall in love with him. And he is very self-depreciating, and what you quickly learn is the title André is an Idiot is basically his assessment of why he didn't go and get a colonoscopy when he should have.
Yeah.
And the movie is this sort of like covert like Trojan horse for this very serious message, which is men over 45 need to get colonoscopies.
women.
And women, thank you. And had you just said that in a very sort of, you know, blunt way, people are not going to pay attention. But if you fall in love with André, you have a great time watching this movie, then that actually is going to land, right? And as somebody, again, who makes comedic documentaries, like, I love anytime I see
Yeah.
people making funny work that also has like a really serious message behind it.
Yeah.
So can you just talk about that philosophy for you guys?
Yeah, I think a lot of our films have humor in them, and we're actively always looking for more comedy docs. Yeah, because it's just a way to get people in theaters, and I think André just lived his life like that. Like, he was just so full of humor
Yes.
that even in dying, he wanted to do it his own way or wanted it to be funny. And
Oh, he's such a contrarian.
yeah, he would
Yeah.
be thrilled that we've been like plastering things that look like buttholes
That's one of
all
my
over New York City.
That's one of my favorite parts. Yeah, like the orange or the top of the
Yeah.
trash can, all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Divert us because we have never ever taken that path.
Oh, cool.
And
Are we gonna take the road less traveled
right,
right
now,
here?
I want to travel that road.
Okay, but just sticking with the comedy docs for a second.
Yeah.
Did you know that sort of spoonful of sugar adage, and was that something that was like important to you, or is that something that you sort of developed over time making science films?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're really excited about genre films in general being science films. So often science is communicated in such a stale way with sort of a presenter telling you facts. And if you can make it a comedy, if you can make it a romance like Fire of Love, or you
Right.
can make it sort of an eco-horror thriller or a true crime, or like what are all of those genres that people like to go see, but add some science, add some questioning, add some,
Right.
you know, philosophy. Those are the kinds of films we're trying to make. So I think it's comedy docs about science, but also name a genre docs about science.
Okay.
We're
So it's not
interested in.
just comedy; it's all
Yeah, exactly.
genres. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
But comedy is such a, so much fun to make
Yeah.
a comedy.
Well, and it's interesting that you describe Fire of Love as a love story too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in the title, but I guess, like, I
Yeah.
didn't. I guess I read it that way, but I also, you could almost call it a comedy in a certain sense. I guess,
It's like a rom-com.
in sort of like a well. I was going to compare it to a decidedly, I guess, not very funny movie, but Grizzly Man. It kind of has this similar
Yeah.
tone to that, where it's like,
Yeah.
you know, something bad is going to happen eventually.
Yeah. Well, Werner is on our board, our advisory board, and he's been sort of part of our team since the beginning.
Oh wow!
And so
That's
his brand of comedy was exciting. Like he was doing some of these like interesting science docs
yes,
forever ago.
forever ago.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Keith, I cut you off. I'm sorry. What were you?
Well, I
what were
want
you
to go
asking?
back to where we were before we diverted into Andre, only because you were just getting set up with Simon's Foundation and kind of you made your pitch. You said,
Yeah.
"What if?"
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and I think there was a real appetite there to try new things, and so then we launched the studio in 2020.
well, and so I guess what my question is though is in that moment, as you go in and you say, "Look, you brought me in to kind of look at this one thing, but what we've seen is this incredible opportunity to do more than that." And by maintaining editorial freedom, right, and having like
Yeah.
a distinct separateness between what you guys are doing as a funder and what we could be doing as a mini studio,
Yeah.
you're basically kind of like creating a new way of approaching this industry, right? Like there's not other people out there that are taking like major foundation money and
Yeah.
kind of creating industry from it.
We actually had 3 other companies that we were modeling ourselves after,
Okay, tell me more.
which have now all sort of, I think all 3 have gone out of business. Participant
Right.
Yep. Oh
was
sure.
burned out of a
Sure,
school
right.
foundation. Vulcan, do you remember Vulcan?
Yeah, Vulcan, that was the guy who owned the Sonics, who was the
Yeah,
Microsoft guy.
Yeah, the mic in Seattle.
Yeah.
And then Tangled Bank Studio HHMI,
Okay.
which they're still doing something, but they're not doing as many features. I don't know if they're doing features anymore.
And are all 3 of those science related? Was science focused?
Participant was more all kinds of
Yeah, that's what I
impacty
thought.
films, but the other 2 had some science focus to them. Yeah,
Okay.
science, nature, tech.
Do I stand corrected? You
So we did have some
antecedents
examples.
of those.
Exactly.
Yeah. How was it when you made that pitch? Like, was there any pushback from the people that had to make that decision, or were they?
Not really. I mean, there was a lot of like deep thinking and conversations and questioning, but I think it was all positive, and they've been extremely supportive.
I think in terms of our walk, sorry to interrupt, I think we need to go that way because this is going to get real messy. If we go up this way, we can kind of wind around behind the Y and the train tracks and stuff. But unless we want to get right by
the road less traveled. And the funny thing is, I realized this is where I coach youth lacrosse 2 days a week.
Nice.
I just had never approached it from that side.
Nice.
This is the old YMCA, which is, I guess, still officially the YMCA.
Yep, still the Y. And the Amtrak station is right over here.
Oh, nice.
So we might see a train. You're gonna see
Back alley.
some of the back alleys of downtown Austin over here.
Nice.
Okay, so well, it sounds like the launch of the whole system that became Sandbox was rolling along relatively smoothly.
Yeah, and I'll say that the foundation had supported before I even got there some other feature documentaries that were doing well.
Okay.
And that were really exciting to them. So there were these
you guys
examples of what we wanted to do that were getting out into the world. So the first film being The Most Unknown, Ian Chaney film. The second one being Human Nature, which was why I was at South by in 2019. A documentary about CRISPR by Adam Bolt.
Yes.
So, yeah. So they had already supported some films and there was appetite to do more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So then when you started developing the initial Sandbox slate,
Yeah,
is Fire of Love the first thing out of the gate?
not quite. We had, Fathom.
Here, we can go this way, and this is the Amtrak station here.
Yeah, Drew and Megan's wonderful film about the whales. That was actually the first pitch I saw my first week at the Simons Foundation.
Really? And
Was-
Austin filmmaker Drew Xanthopoulos.
Exactly, yeah.
Austin by way of Montana, I think.
This is now he's
Yes.
actually in Reno.
Oh,
Yes,
Yeah.
former Austinite. He was in grad school at UT a couple years behind when I graduated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, I mean, it was, the first thing I saw, basically, first materials I saw, and it was an early test scene he filmed with these scientists lamenting the fact that when she leaves to go off into the field, it's hard for her to come home.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
It's this raw scene that she just talks about how, sort of the psychological toll of going out and being so obsessed with this thing in the middle of nowhere, and then just feeling so disconnected from her partner and her dog and all these other things.
Oh,
And
wow. Cool.
I was totally wrecked by this scene.
Oh, I love that.
And I was like, we have to work on this movie. So that was one of our first ones we came on to, and Theo Anthony's All Light Everywhere we came on to early on, and we did a film with Werner Herzog called Fireball.
Oh, yeah. What is it like working with Werner?
It's kind of exactly what you would imagine. He's been so supportive and great of everything we're doing, and yeah, you're just kind of
You know what I want to
hanging
know
out
from
with a legend, you know?
You know what I want to know from you, because you have a specific insight that not a lot of people would have.
Yeah.
Everybody has their imitation of him. Everybody kind of guesses what he would be like, but I want to know what it's like to give notes to Werner Herzog.
It's not easy. Werner is writing the film, the narration for the film, as he's in the field filming scenes.
Oh,
So
interesting.
he has a very clear idea, I think, of what the film is as he's making it, and you might get one or two notes in,
Right.
Yeah.
but it's hard to give.
I mean, he's been telling the world who he is for almost 50 years, so
Right.
you got to kind of let him have that space a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's on the board, so
Yeah.
how does he weigh in on other projects and other ideas that you guys are doing?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell him sort of the different things we're working on, and he'll weigh in on things he might want to see more of. He executive produced another one of our films.
I'm really sorry to
found that
interrupt.
one.
We have got to talk about where we are. This is by far the weirdest place that we have ever ended up on a dock walk in Austin.
Does it make you a little uncomfortable, Ben?
Well, I would describe this as a little stabby, yes. We are behind an abandoned warehouse off of the train tracks by the Amtrak station, just off of downtown, on what can charitably be described as a hiking path, which I think is probably more just...
And like a hobo thoroughfare?
Thank you for finishing that sentence. Yeah, this feels like maybe we shouldn't keep going that way. Over here, I do know on the other side of this, there are amazing restaurants and coffee shops and very beautiful parts of Austin.
Bougie.
But we are One abandoned warehouse away.
Keeping it real here in like this Hooverville next to the Amtrak station.
That's right. So Jess, we are, I guess in the spirit of the scientific method, we are testing our...
Yeah, we're trying new routes.
We're trying new routes, exactly. Ooh, maybe that's the title of your episode. Trying new routes.
Well, I am also going to spare you my Werner Herzog impression, only because there are people who do it better in my office, but there is kind of a running Werner Herzog dialogue whenever we watch rough cut scenes, and notes are often delivered in his unique dialect.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we'll ever get you on the podcast there, Werner. I'm sure you're listening with bated breath. We're going to hold off on all of Werner Herzog impressions until we get you. So this is day 0 of not having Werner Herzog on the podcast
Oh, okay. I like that countdown.
Running count.
Yeah, that's
Well,
great.
the note that he gave one of our films that he was executive producing, that we just say all the time now, it's like my favorite note to give, is you have to get the cowboys on the horses.
Oh.
He said that. It was like, he was like, I don't, like, you have to just start your movie with get the cowboys on the
I
horses.
love
So was
that
that a metaphor or
idea. Yeah, did he mean it literally? Like
There
you were
no
watching a
cowboys-
film
no
about cowboys?
in the film at all, no. But it was more just, you're just rambling around the idea, like,
Oh,
say what you're doing from the
love that.
start.
And you know what's funny about that is we are by the Amtrak station, walking by train tracks, and that reminds me of what Jay Duplass told me once, which I've often said on this podcast, which is that people want to jump aboard a moving train, meaning nobody wants to help you, like, you know, when you are just talking about doing something, but once you start doing it, all of a sudden people appear,
Momentum.
and momentum creates
Yeah.
momentum.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I like that, said a different way. You got to get the cowboy
Yeah.
on the
Cowboys
horse.
on the horse. You can lead them to water,
Yeah.
but if the cowboys are on the horse, you can't drink.
Yeah, you just got to start your movie.
No, you're veering off like we are
I
on
am
this
veering
walk.
off. Speaking of veering off, I was on a call this week with Concordia Studios describing how I used to jump onto a moving train when I was in high school because me and my friends were train hoppers
Oh,
throughout
wow.
high school. We lived in Dallas, and the train would come through town, and it would slow down to between 5 and 10 miles an hour. You could
Wow.
run alongside
And
and
hop
jump
on?
on the train.
Oh my goodness. Well, if you want to relive some of that, this right here, I've lived in Austin since 2002, and I have never walked this section that goes right over Lamar. And I think today might be the day.
Today the day?
I would take the Lamar footbridge, but we never take the Lamar train trestle.
train, and there might be a reason for that. Again, I do feel like this looks a little stabby.
The Simons Foundation has good insurance.
I guess we'll find out.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
All right, so this year alone, like we were saying, you've got your dance card is very full.
Yeah.
You've got ANDRÉ IS AN IDIOT, which we already talked about. I was enraptured just kind of by the depth and the sensitivity and the thorough entertainment of watching the lake. That is, you know, it's climate change and environmental stories are tough because at the heart of them, the message is terrible, right? Like the message is always like the sky actually is falling, and so how do you encapsulate a sky is falling story,
Yeah.
make an impact, tell a great and entertaining tale, but also like inspire people to get off the couch and do something,
Yeah.
you know, which obviously the people you're pointing your camera at, that's what they're trying to do.
Wait, let's
24/7.
get out of this urban wasteland here. Let's go across the Thames.
The lake tells the story of the changing circumstance in Salt Lake City,
Yeah.
where the Great Salt Lake is on the verge of collapse, which is something I
Yes.
never even heard of, the idea that a lake could collapse.
Yeah.
Of course, I've
Speaking of collapse, we're literally crossing a collapsing fence here. Jess, again, I feel like we need to apologize to
I
you.
just want to apologize to you. I'm not apologetic, and I refuse to.
This shot.
Yeah, I hope you are up to date on your on your vaccines.
She's a scientist. She's got her shot. Oh, okay.
I'm good.
So the lake does such a great job of kind of encapsulating the story. I had no idea. I'm not
Yeah.
tuned to the
Yeah.
story behind the story. And it's an ensemble piece. It jumps perspectives. It
Yeah.
follows the story as it unfolds over time.
Yeah.
And it just premiered 40 minutes from the lake at Sundance and won an award for impact
Yeah.
because it's sounding an alarm and encapsulating a story in a way that I think people can do something about it.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the making of that film and the feeling of presenting that film, knowing that the message, this isn't just,
Yeah.
you know, a vague sense of scientific inquiry and discovery. This is like current events, and it makes a difference to the people watching it in a way that I think is really rare.
Yeah, and I think the film actually is now really very much being used as a tool for impact and change, which is cool. So yeah, so Abby Ellis, the director of The Lake, came to me maybe 3-ish years ago, and she wanted to follow this scientist named Bonnie Baxter who goes out and takes data from the lake every day. And it was
Bird scientist.
Yeah, she studies the microbes that live in the lake, but she knows a lot about birds too.
Thank you.
And originally that was the film, and we were interested in developing that idea further. And then she led us to other scientists, Ben Abbott, to politicians, and it became much more of this ensemble verite cast. And I think the thing that surprised us the most over the 3 years was this idea that, you know, the scientists are collecting all this data, things are getting worse and worse, the lake is closer to collapse, it's causing this public health crisis, and nobody really seems to be paying attention to it. You know, the governor is saying, pray for rain, and it's, you know, the problem isn't as bad as you think it is. But that over the course of the 3 years, seeing those politicians sort of come around and embrace this problem as something super important. And so we've just been thrilled to see Governor Spencer Cox sort of say in the film that they may have dropped the ball a little bit.
They step into
wow.
the
And we have to listen to the scientists. And, you know, at the end of the film, spoiler alert, I don't know, he raises a significant amount of money towards saving the lake, and the governor came to our Sundance premiere, did the Q&A.
Cool.
Talks about how important it is that we work together across the aisle.
I mean, this is the best case scenario.
It's a doc
it sounds like for your
kind of like
I mean, it's amazing. It's
pulling on a thread, and instead of the sweater just unraveling before your eyes, like the people with power grab the knitting needles and say, let's start working on the
and now he's, you know, the governor is continuing after the film to talk about how important it is, and President Trump just tweeted out about making the lake great again because he had just talked to his friend Spencer Cox.
I'm not familiar with him. Trump?
But like that's kind of crazy. It's an environmental issue, and I think it's become a hard enough problem that the governor would have wanted to do something about it regardless of our film, I would hope. But having cameras in his face for 3 years was probably
No, it sure seemed like it made a difference.
And it speaks to the power of telling stories about important issues that then affect.
Should we go by that
change.
blue blob, whatever that is?
what is that?
Right?
Sort of a
Let's do a
slug?
little scientific inquiry over there. Since
so
Jess
it's
is
been really
throwing
exciting.
spoilers, I'm going to throw a spoiler.
Yeah.
One of my very favorite moments, you kind of hinted at it a second ago, is this crisis kind of comes to a head, and the scientists have like laid out this plan, and then the governor's reaction is he says, let's pray for rain, right? And then it rains.
And then it rains,
And it rains more than anyone ever expected.
And everyone's like, and then even the scientists, you know, everyone in the film, or not everyone, but a lot of the people in the film are quite religious.
Yeah.
And Mormon faith is throughout the movie. And so, yeah, they're all saying, our main scientist says in the film, like, we all prayed and it rained.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
A scientist sitting
the
there.
thing is, like, it's this like incredible like.
So it's just science. So
There's
I
a
mean, you
moment-
pray and it
there's
rains.
a moment in that film that you couldn't script if you tried to, and it's a confrontation between science and spirituality. And I thought you guys handled it so well. And I also love the fact that your characters called back onto the governor and said, you know what? Even though we got that rain, it didn't help. Like, right? That's not what we actually need right now.
It gave us a little bit of help.
Right.
You know, it gave us.
It's a Band-Aid.
Yeah, it gave us a little Band-Aid to give us some more time. Bought us a little more time, but didn't solve the underlying problems.
That's right.
But it sounds
Gotta
like
get water.
the documentary gods, so to speak, were smiling down on you at that moment, which I love about what we do. Like that kind of stuff happens all the time.
Alan David Maisels.
Maybe Les Blanc thrown in there too.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
maybe
I said we were going to go
Bill
look at
Baker.
that big blue blob, and we just kind of blobbed on right by. Ben, did you get a shot of the blue blob?
I did not. No, we sailed right on by it. But now we are on this beautiful straightaway right here by our award-winning main library here in downtown Austin. It's gorgeous, and the rooftop up there has this kind of like landscaped design, and you can sit up there like among the trees and look out over Town Lake. It's really fantastic.
But we're not going to pass this
there's more
opportunity.
blobs,
There's
yeah.
more blobs, and they have a very tardigrade-like
Yeah, they're
presentation. Do you have any? Is anyone doing a tardigrade film for you guys yet?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know
We're going
what-
to pitch a funny tardigrade documentary.
I don't know what you're talking about. Is that the name of an artist?
Ben's going to learn about the
You're
tardigrades
gonna see
as
the
we do it.
tardigrades. Yeah, yeah.
That you don't know about the microscopic water bears that can survive
They're
in
very
space?
cute. Yeah.
No, I don't know about microscopic water bears. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
They look kind of like those blobs, with little tiny feet.
Wow. No, this is news to me.
They've got like a demonic like suction face, and then the body of like a Teddy Ruxpin kind of like a tater.
Wow. This sounds like the stuff of nightmares.
Yeah.
Puffy nightmares.
Cute, cuddly nightmare.
That could be like a science horror thriller.
Well, now wait a second. So we have been talking all about your slate of movies, The Lake. What film are you here with at South by?
We have two films. One is actually a sci-fi documentary
Oh, speaking of
I don't know if you did
genre
that
ducks.
on purpose, but it is about two mycologists, mushroom scientists,
Okay.
who are indigenous women in Mexico, and they're sort of reimagining their future by learning more about their ancestral past and the knowledge that's been passed through the generations of their families
Oh,
about
wow.
mushrooms.
This is one of the most
Very
beautiful one sheets at the festival this year.
Oh yeah, the poster's incredible.
Poster's incredible. This is Daughters of the Forest,
Yes, it's called Daughters of the Forest.
and I can't wait to see it. I am a mushroom
Enthusiast?
fungophile.
Yeah.
I am a mushroom enthusiast, and I know a fair amount about
Yeah.
Maria Sabina and the cultural appropriation that ties to that. So this sounds like this is confronting.
Yeah.
So that history?
It doesn't get into that sort of historical politics. It's more specific stories about these two women in Mexico, but also sort of showing the entanglements of human and fungi. And there's sort of some sci-fi elements to it.
Speaking
and
of
it's non-linear.
Speaking of science ducks, can we just point out this is a very South by thing that we're walking by here. There is a Cybertruck pulling a see-through
Yeah.
trailer with
Shrek pulling a robo-taxi.
a robo-taxi inside of it, and it says the future is autonomous.
The dystopian future has arrived.
Yeah.
Who is going to make this science documentary about the Cybertruck?
One of my colleagues was in one of the self-driving cars last night, and it just drove her around in a circle for like 10 minutes, and she had to push the help button. Somebody called, and she said, you know, the car is not making the right turn. It's just going around the same block in a circle. And they said, well, is it a safe area? You can get out.
Oh yes, there you go. Thumbs up.
That was a very Austin that was like double dose of Austin right there. Like that's the new Austin in a nutshell. A Cybertruck pulling a robo-taxi right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, you can only imagine the argument that they're having with each other.
No, I'm driving. No, I'm driving.
My favorite Waymo moment, these Waymos have taken over Austin
Yeah.
the last 2 years. There was a Halloween parade that my family participates in. I have a 10-year-old son. And we were all in this Halloween parade in this closed off street in a neighborhood where kids kind of get to trick or treat freely without worrying about traffic. And a Waymo didn't get the memo, and it ended up pulling into this Halloween parade. But then immediately, its sensors or whatever realized it was surrounded by people on all sides. And it couldn't figure out what to do, so it kept putting itself in drive and then reverse, and drive and then reverse.
Oh, no.
And then the kids all surrounded the Waymo and started taunting it. And I swear I saw a little tear roll down.
Oh, the Waymos.
Jaguar eye.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a second. Oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, I like riding in them because I just felt along to like show tunes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Back seat. You can sing
it's an opportunity for
loudly,
greater humanity, is what you're saying.
you can sing along. And
Oh, I like that. That's good.
Much like these Fraggles.
I myself am an optimist, and I think it's because of my Kansan sort of youth pasture demeanor, but I just always look for the good in something. And I think that when it comes to self-driving cars, I'm so excited that they might eventually take over, because I am so tired of passing somebody who is driving slowly, not paying attention, clearly writing an email or checking Instagram on their phone, and it happens all the time. And that to me is so much more dangerous than I'd
rather they figure out a way to make the robots write the emails than take over the driving. I like driving. I think, taxi driving and Uber driving is one of the easiest options for people looking to supplement their income. And so I look at these self-driving cars like, you've got what, like a $120,000 Jaguar with another $80,000 worth of sensors and cameras and gear on it, all to like take over somebody who is eking out $12 an hour driving people from point A to point B.
Yeah.
So
that's one way to look at it. Well, if you want AI to write your emails, you're in luck. It's already here. The future is now. Okay, so we interrupted you very rudely. I'm sorry. So you were describing
Daughters of the Forest.
Daughters of the Forest, and then you said you have another film here as well.
Yeah, Time and Water, Sara Dosa's new film, is also playing here.
Oh, tell me everything about this. Sara Dosa directed Fire of Love.
Yeah.
And so what is her new film about?
So we got the whole team back together, including National Geographic.
Cool.
And yeah, this is a film. It's this beautiful, poetic piece that's really asking the questions: how do we say goodbye to something we never thought we could lose?
Oh, which is fire and water?
The glaciers in Iceland.
Time and water. Sorry, I messed it up. Time and water. Okay.
So it's a time capsule being put together by this poet writer who's Icelandic, and he's sort of recounting his family's history, living on the glaciers, studying the glaciers. His grandparents made some of the first ice cores and did a lot of like the glacier expeditions in Iceland. And then he, as this famous writer in Iceland, was asked to write a eulogy for the first glacier to die from human causes. So it's basically, the film is his kind of memories, reflections, what he wants to leave behind to his future generations.
Wow.
Explaining sort of the importance of glaciers and how we can
That's beautiful.
maybe save them. It's really beautiful.
Yeah. What did you say his parents did? They were ice?
His grandparents, he had both sets of grandparents are in the film in different ways, but one of the sets were on some of the early expeditions onto the glaciers.
Oh,
and they took some of the early ice cores.
Oh, I see. They
have
were
all of the
they were
climate data.
scientists that
Exactly. They had their honeymoon. It's a little bit Fire of Lovey. It's like this beautiful love story of, two people out on an expedition on the ice in this old-timey 16mm footage.
Cool. Speaking of Fire of Love, could you talk about what made that so successful? It's one of those documentaries that really crossed over and that made a lot of money in theaters, and I think maybe exceeded expectations in lots of ways, although I don't want to put those words in your mouth if that's not true. So could you just maybe talk about that a little bit, and then what you think maybe made that possible with that movie?
I mean, that was a movie that in some ways born because of COVID. We wanted to work on a film with Sara Dosa. She had pitched us something else, but it required a lot of travel, and COVID was just starting to happen. And so she said that she had this sort of memories and dreams of this archive of these volcano scientists in her head.
Where she met them at one of your retreats.
She met a volcano scientist at one of our retreats, and they had talked a lot about this archive.
Cool.
And so, that's also how I met Sara too, was through that retreat.
Okay.
And I basically said, if you can track down where that archive is, it will give you some development funding to watch it. And so she, tracked it down with her producers and started getting the 16mm reels of this archive. And we all met and just like, this is a gold mine. It's an incredible story. We really believed in it, and we ended up fully financing it. We had taken it to market, and everyone was a little skeptical of a fully archived film, and we wanted it to, Sara really didn't want talking heads. She wanted it to all be in the archive and to all be sort of put together in this way. And
I read that in doing research for this, that that was, she had a really strong vision that wasn't necessarily getting financed or a lot of support at first, but you guys really
it wasn't like the
stuck by
commercial way
her.
to make that movie.
Right.
You know, which would be to have the talking heads, the people that knew them, and it was a very artful vision, and we were just really excited about her vision, and so, yeah, we sort of just decided to. We actually went to Iceland together.
Cool. And how beautiful that the more artistic, personal vision was the one that became the most commercial.
I mean, I always think that what audiences really want are things that are they've never seen before in some ways. That like these films that become like same with André Is an Idiot. It's like the films that break through are the ones that are almost like the weirdest and the coolest and
most remarkable,
different, and the ones that like then become the reference points for other films. So like now Fire of Love, when people are talking about making an all archival documentary in that way, they're like, oh, I want it to be Fire of Love meets something else.
Right. Oh, that's so cool.
I will tell you, I'm not a jealous person by nature, and it's very rare that I see a film that I think, oh, that person did exactly everything I wish I could do, or that's exactly where I want to be. But when I saw Fire of Love, I was frustrated out of excitement because it is as close to a perfect kind of edit of an incredible archive. I've worked a lot in archival, and I love digging in and kind of seeing the small moments and trying to imagine the juxtapositions and how to let a thing live on its own without that crutch of talking head, without kind of contextualizing and filling in the gaps. And
that
you
was
guys
like,
found that. You found all the connection points.
Yeah, and I think it's, you know, Sarah is such a collaborative soul. I think there was so much love in the making of that movie. Just all of the, you know, the editors and, you know, producer, everybody just kind of was so on board with this one vision.
Yeah, I feel like
there was like a magic, you know, sometimes a film is just magic from sort of start to end.
Yes.
And that just felt like that. Like it was
I feel like I would be remiss in not asking you about the Wes Anderson connection, because I watched that and I was like, well, this is clearly where he got the Steve Zissou uniform.
I think must have seen their footage.
He had to. Like
and
the red beanies, the suspenders, the
red beanie was a Jacques Cousteau.
Yeah.
They, I think, were inspired by Jacques Cousteau to wear the red beanies.
Oh, I see.
But, but I think that their footage is so Wes Anderson-like.
Yes.
That we just the whole time we were like, did he?
Yeah, the
just
maps
rip them off
and
in his style?
yeah, right.
But in a great way. I mean, it's such a good style.
So good.
That's why everything's a remix. Nothing is original.
Exactly.
Well, we are back at your hotel. We're coming up at the end of our walk. Let's go here and then we can kind of circle for a sec.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
We talked a lot about expeditions.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
this has been a real expedition,
This
right?
was a real expedition.
We
Yes.
started out here at the Line Hotel. We could have done the entire thing next to the pool. So we started out trapped next to one of the most beautiful pools in Austin.
Yes.
But not content, we took it to the hike and bike trail. We zigged instead of zagged. And ended up in, you know, a stabby little murder niche.
Amtrak depot
Across
behind
the
the
tracks.
abandoned warehouse. Yeah, that got interesting really fast.
Yeah.
So, okay, so Jess, lightning round.
Yeah.
We usually ask 3 questions.
Yeah.
First one is, what was the gateway drug documentary that you saw that just flipped your switch and made you think, I want to do this for a living?
Oh, it's funny because I don't.
And why don't we end at the gazebo over here? Look at that beautiful little spot.
I feel like what came to my head immediately was Encounters at the End of the World.
Oh, wow, a Werner Herzog movie.
which is a Werner film, but again, I came to it from like wanting to communicate science in new ways, and that one to me did. The scene with the penguins and the it's just such it's got so much heart and humor in it, in showing what scientists are doing.
Totally. Well, and interesting that connects to Fathom in that way for you too, where you talked about like the loneliness and her sort of like ennui about being a scientist, and that movie is all about that, right? Like those guys being so isolated and so in their own world.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And how amazing that now you are working with Werner, where you're funding his films. He's on the board of the company that you run. Like, that's really fantastic that you can say that.
I know.
Cool.
Yeah.
Second question, we hope, yes, Keith. Do you have a question?
The second one. What is your dream collaborator? You've had the chance to work with all these different incredible artists, and you're getting a chance to work with the Gateway Drug director. Who is somebody out there? And just to take a little pressure off, you don't have to name Ben and I. I don't want to.
Yes.
I don't want to hurt Ben's feelings.
I know Keith immediately sprang to mind, but present company excluded.
Excluded.
Yeah.
Who is a dream collaborator for you and for Sandbox?
Oh, that's a hard question. I mean, I feel like every year we invite 15 filmmakers to Camp Sandbox, and those are just the dreamiest. Like, they're all people we want to collaborate with. I think it's less of, I think you never know who your dream collaborator is going to be. I'm always surprised. I don't know. Like, it's so much about, like, again, like the love, like the sort of love in the making of something. And you never know, like, if your heroes are going to bring that to you or not. I don't
That's
know.
right. No, that's a great
So
answer.
I think it's like, it's about like the passion and the human connections and the
the process, like
Yeah, the
making it
process
rather than the finished piece.
yeah
Love that.
yeah.
Okay, we're gonna add a question because this is so good. Who we think of this as a resource for emerging filmmakers. That's what we hope it can
Yeah.
turn into or be. So what would your advice be to somebody who's maybe making their first film or studying film in college right now or thinking about doing this?
I think just learning on the job. I'm glad looking back on it that I didn't pay for extra degrees and things like that, and I just kind of made things, and and you just, I don't know, it's so hard. Find a way.
Is it fair to say to get the Cowboys on the horses?
Get the Cowboys on the horses. I think also to figure out what you bring that maybe not everybody brings.
Right.
So for me, it was like, I know how to read science textbooks. Like, I will do that research on your film.
Well, they have
If you
these
hire
two
me.
pillars. You've got a science background, but then you've got a theater background.
Yeah.
And then the work is connecting the dots between the two.
Yeah, and I think it's like that was the unique thing I could bring to a set, and how I could get onto a set was this science background other people didn't necessarily have, and I was able. I think so. It's like what makes you unique in the talent pool.
Right.
Capitalizing on that. Yeah.
I love that. Okay. Great. And then the last one is, what is the thing that you can't stop thinking about right now? And let's make it not film related.
Yeah. Let's take that on the rig.
Yeah. Let's take this in for a second, by the way, because I, again, have never been in this particular gazebo. And this
Ben
isn't,
loves a gazebo.
I do love a gazebo. We were in, you can see one of the ones from a past episode just right across the bank from us here. Can't see the top, but there's a gazebo right as the crow flies straight across. And then
You can't see it, but you can imagine.
a fantastic gazebo.
Well, there's also these kayakers.
And an enormous stage set up over there.
Oh, Christina Aguilera is playing tonight.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And then I can't tell who we're hearing right now, but a very loud band that had some fireworks right
Yeah.
there.
Everyone should come see Daughters of the Forest, but if you can't get a ticket to Daughters of the Forest, go see Christina
Aguilera at Auditorium Shores.
I think Christina Aguilera should come see Daughters of the Forest.
Hey, now.
Exactly.
In a
Makes
perfect
sense.
world, that would be exactly right. How many years have you been coming to South by?
I think this is my 4th South by.
Wow, cool.
Not in a row, but yeah.
What do you think makes it unique?
It's got so much going on. I mean, it's got more going on than any other. I mean, the fact that it's got all these talks, the conference, really interesting stuff. But in some ways, then the films are sort of secondary compared to a festival like.
There's a lot of
True False
Yeah,
or
Yeah.
certain Sundance.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest complaint about South by. You know, you hear the complaint about Tribeca that people get lost because it's New York City.
Yeah.
And it's impossible to make a splash in New York City.
Yeah.
In Austin, it'd be easy to make a splash if they weren't throwing every other possible thing in the world at
Yeah.
the same time.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you guys know this, but tech industries have a lot of money. Yeah.
There's
Yes.
a lot of-
Yeah. So they come in and they buy up all the hotel rooms and they make it very expensive and really hard to be here for this week when people are trying to enjoy movies and music.
Yeah, all of the arts that are here, which is cool. Yeah, I heard there's like an expo with artists selling their work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a whole floor of just artists that are selling things that they've made.
Oh.
Then you should grab those Winnebago Man DVDs and hit the floor.
I definitely have some leftover shirts I could hawk, yeah.
Well, let's head back towards the line. And as we do,
Yeah.
let's take the line that Ben was feeding you a moment ago. What is the
Yeah.
what is the thing that you just can't stop thinking about, non-film related, but running around through your head?
I mean, there's the sort of depressing things and the happier things, and then mostly film things in my head.
Well, you get to pick out of which
Yes,
category.
you
Pick a column.
choose.
I mean, yeah, I think that the hobby that I've been getting into recently is costume design.
Oh.
So I'm starting like a side hustle and making costumes.
With all the free time you have,
So that's something that I think about a lot is like
wow, tell me more about this. Like
doing
what
art
kind
projects.
What kind of costumes?
Like heavily bejeweled things.
Like Mardi Gras type
Kind of, yeah.
bejeweled?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I've been doing that. And then I'm still sort of obsessed with like when humans and animals are going to have that moment where we can talk to them, which is a theme in so many of our films and
I mean, I talk
Sort of
about
film-
radar every day.
sort of film related, sort of not, but I think that's another thing that I'm just excited to think about.
Yeah, that's cool. What animal would you want to talk to first?
I mean, probably. I mean, I feel like there are a couple dogs in my life that I feel like I do communicate with, but would love to do so in a deeper way.
Have you ever seen the French film Baxter?
No.
Baxter. It's this very depressing French movie where the dog narrates from the dog's perspective, and the dog hates humans. And so I can't unsee that. I saw that at like a pivotal time in my filmmaking career, and so I'm kind of worried like if my dog could talk, he would basically just be like, "You suck. All you do is sit on your computer, and why are we not outside going on a walk?"
It's true. He's like, you have a whole podcast dedicated to walking. People think it's dog walks.
don't
It's
you
dog
bring your
walks.
dog?
You never bring the dog.
Why don't you bring
How
me
in the world could I have a dog on a leash?
He could make
Wow.
me walk the dog.
Oh, see?
And then we
This
can
is
make
good
it
executive producing right here.
dog walks.
Jess, have you ever considered underwriting a podcast?
Has to be about science.
We can get scientific with it.
We could, yes. We could test out a lot of
Talk about
theories.
if you do the dog buttons.
Dog buttons. I'll be happy. You know what? I'll submit to eating mushrooms on every episode. And
That's science.
Talking about reality.
Ain't that science?
What is real?
well, that's
Oh,
my favorite.
wait.
That's my favorite section. It brings us to the phenomenon.
I was going
That
to
is
say,
my
we did not talk about one of the best docs I've seen in a long time, which was Phenomena.
Yeah.
And
But I have to tell you, we were short-sighted on
Yes.
Phenomenon because we were provided a link. Thank you very much.
Yes.
That is a theatrical experience
Yes.
Oh.
that needs
people need to see this documentary in the theater because the
yeah.
visuals are mind-blowing.
It's amazing. And there's
Yes.
no special effects
Yes.
at all.
I want to take that to the IMAX right
It's-
now.
Yeah.
100%.
I know. Well,
Yes.
Let's do it.
And I love how it's in its own way very understated story about a father and son. And it's like very buried in the subtext, but it's also like really sweet. You can tell the physicist father is very proud of his filmmaker son.
Finally, he's doing something worthwhile.
Exactly.
No, it's like a beautiful marriage of art and science in the best way.
That is exactly right. Yeah, which is what you're doing and
Yeah,
bringing it together.
exactly.
So, man, thank you.
It's like one of my favorites for this.
I love it. I love the movies you make. I love that you gave us this time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, this is fun. I got to see some special parts of Washington.
You really did. You really did.
Then everyone gets that. This is a little Ethan Ben South by Southwest tour.
Yeah,
Across the train
and on behalf of me and Keith, I'll just say I'm sorry.
Yeah. And I'll say you're welcome. Let's end it as a
Oh, nice.
walking
Okay.
here through the lobby. Let's give a shout out to Stay on our street, you badge. It's Lamar. And that's the
I'll do that tomorrow when I'm leaving.
Why choose one or the other?
See?
Oh, see. This is actually apropos that we can't get in because we couldn't get out to start this podcast. So,
Jess Harrop, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
yeah, this has been awesome.
And thanks for not doing your Werner Herzog impression.
I will never.
I think that's thanks to you.
Well, I'm going to say we have a new running gag. We're not going to ask you to book Werner for us until we tried everything else.
I couldn't possibly.
That's right. All right. Well, on that note,
Let's cut.
Yeah.
that's the end.
Yeah, thanks, Jess.
Thank you.
This episode is sponsored by our good friends at Rambler Sparkling Water, a tasty limestone mineral blend with the perfect level of tight, crispy bubbles. Made in America and proudly supporting American rivers. Ramble on. Next time on Doc Walks, Keith and I go to the Austin Film Society South by Southwest party. You're not going to want to miss this episode. We talk to old friends, we make new ones, we want to bring you along with us. So stay tuned next week for a new episode of Doc Walks.
Doc Walks is created, produced, and edited by my friend Ben Steinbauer of The Bear.
Hello. And my friend Keith Maitland of Go Valley.
Thanks for tuning in.
Follow us at Doc Walks Pod on Instagram, X, and YouTube.